The Yankees obviously with a huge sweep this weekend, but not the only brooms to come out this past weekend that affected power rankings. Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz, CBSSports.com writer Larry Dobrow. Glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com the week of August 10th, power rankings. And Larry, obviously that's one sweep, the Yankees 4-game sweep of the Red Sox at home, first one since '85. Not the only thing that affected power rankings. Your configuration of teams completely different than it has been the past few weeks.
Yeah, it got shuffled around a little bit. I think we're in one of our periodic bouts of taking the Texas Rangers seriously. They bump into the top 5, and the Tampa Bay Rays. I think I've been babbling about them, maybe giving them too much credit over the last couple weeks, but this is still a terrific team. Their run differential is still terrific, which means they've just had some bad luck and lost a lot of close games. You know, there's a lot tighter grouping at the top than there's been, I think, in past weeks.
And two teams go in, which means two teams come out, and those are the Red Sox and the Phillies. We'll get to Philadelphia in a second, but let's talk about the Red Sox here. Obviously swept by New York. 4 games. If you take away Thursday, the 3 games were rather close. How far apart are these two teams in your eyes? Not the 6.5 games, but in terms of on the field.
Well, on the field, you know, what you saw this weekend was that you had both two teams that pitched extremely well. One team's bullpen fell apart. One team didn't hit. That's the difference right there.
Unfortunately, it was the same team.
It was the same team, which is why it went 4-0 rather than 2-2 or some variation of 1-3. The Red Sox right now, they're starting to look a little bit like the Yankees of the last couple seasons. They're kind of slow. They go from station to station. You know, they're waiting for home runs to produce some offense. Then you have the Yankees. You know, they got a little jump in their step.
Yep.
I mean, certainly the ballpark helps in that any ball that's hit even moderately well is going to be a 2-run homer. But you know, you have someone like Melky Cabrera who's really finally gotten into shape and started to play. I mean, he's adding a little athleticism. Johnny Damon, free agent year, power numbers way up, still can run a little bit even if he can't field it all. Mark Teixeira, you know, what he lacks in actual speed right now, he makes up for it. Incredible instincts, incredible base runner, incredible fielder. So, you know, the Yankees are looking appreciably better right now, and they have since the All-Star break. It wasn't just this weekend.
And you've been talking, as you said before, about the Rays for a long time. How close are the Rays to the Sox?
Well, I think the Rays are better. I mean, with the Rays, what you have to worry about, I guess, is the starting pitching. Scott Kazmir, all year long. You know, he's had one good outing, then he's had 3 horrendous ones. James Shields has been so inconsistent. The bullpen was horrendous. Now it's been good for a little while. Still some inconsistency. You know, it's tough really to say, but the Rays just have so many good athletes. Defensively, they're finally getting nearer to where they were last season. I think they're the team that you want to watch out for in the wild card race.
All right, that's the AL East. The NL East also has a shift because your Phillies came out of there. Nobody else is anywhere close to the top 5 in power rankings from the NL East, but you've been talking about the Braves for a long time, but it was the Marlins that swept the Phils this weekend. How concerned should people in Philadelphia be about those two teams that are chasing behind them?
Well, in terms of the teams they ought to be concerned about, you know, I've been yapping about the Braves for a while. The fact that they took 3 out of 4 in Los Angeles isn't going to do anything to dampen my enthusiasm. On the other hand, you know, you look at a team like the Marlins. You know, they look horrendous at the start of the week, you know, losing to the Nationals 3 in a row. Then they come back and, you know, smack the Phillies starters around, including Cole Hamels. You know, okay, granted they didn't go up against Cliff Lee, but you know, it was a pretty good statement they made there. The bullpen's still kind of a mess, but they've got these Kiko Calero and Danny Meyer sorts that can get guys out. So, I mean, can they make a run? It's not as likely as the Braves making a run, in my opinion, but hey, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
All right, one more thing that I want to get to, because that certainly affected your power rankings this week. You had the Rangers and Angels 3 and 4, respectively. Angels 3, Rangers 4. Rangers have beaten the Angels 9 out of the 12 times they played this weekend, this year, including 2 of 3 this weekend. What, in your eyes, will it take for Texas to overtake the Angels?
Well, I mean, it's become kind of a Freaky Friday season with them. You know, the Rangers never were able to pitch. Now they can pitch. The Angels were never able to hit the way they have. Now they're hitting. They're the best offensive team in baseball, basically. Maybe the Yankees, but ultimately, the Rangers have to keep the pitching up. It's such a cliche. Pitching wins championships, blah, blah, blah. You hear it all over the place, but the Rangers have let up the least amount of runs in the American League. And, you know, at the beginning of the season, had you speculated this might happen and, you know, we'd be in mid-August and that would be the case, I mean, my God, you could have cashed in pretty well. If they keep pitching like this, I mean, Holland has been terrific. Kevin Millwood, I wouldn't exactly call him an ace, but he seems to be embracing the role of staff leader. Hey, it can happen.
Yeah, and it certainly helped Texas move on up the rankings here. And for more of the entire list, be sure to stay right here with CBSSports.com every single week. Power rankings here on the website. For Larry Dobrow, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.